Yo, what's up? Welcome back. Today we are going to talk about the Aztec Empire. How they rose from the swamps, exiled, hunted, unwanted. But within 2 centuries, they forged a mighty empire built on war, blood, and devotion to the gods. This is the story of the Aztec Empire. But before they were an empire, the Aztecs, known as the Mexica, were outcasts. They migrated into the Valley of Mexico around the 12th century, seen as uncivilized by the powerful city-states that surrounded the region. For decades, they wandered without a homeland, rejected and forced to survive in the swampy margins of Lake Texcoco. But the Mexica believed they were chosen. According to legend, their god Huitzilopochtli gave them a sign: settle where you see an eagle eating a snake atop a cactus. In 1325, they found that sign, and there, on a lake island, they founded Tenochtitlan. That city, born in hardship, would rise to become the heart of an empire. In 1428, the Mexica allied with 2 city-states, Texcoco and Lacopan, to defeat their overlords, the Tepenecs. Together, they formed the Triple Alliance. But make no mistake, Tenochtitlan soon outgrew its partners. Through war, strategy, and fear, the Mexica dominated the region. Under leaders like Itzcoatl, Moctezuma I, and Ahuitzotl, they expanded the empire across central and southern Mexico. Their power didn't come from mercy. It came from violence, tribute, and fear. Aztec society was highly organized, but brutally strict. Laws were harsh, and punishments were often terrifying. Steal from the market, you could be enslaved or even executed. Drunkenness was tolerated for the elderly, but if a young man got drunk, the punishment could be death by strangulation. Cheating in the marketplace, you could be beaten, have your goods confiscated, or even lose a hand. Adultery was punishable by stoning or death. Children who misbehaved could be punished by being held over burning chili smoke to teach obedience. But it wasn't just crime that brought violence. The Aztec worldview demanded human sacrifice to keep the sun moving and the universe alive. Captured warriors, slaves, and sometimes even Aztecs themselves were led up the steps of pyramids, hearts ripped out to feed the gods. To them, it wasn't cruelty, it was cosmic duty. At its height, Tenochtitlan was a city unlike any other. With over 200,000 inhabitants, it was larger than most European capitals. Canals served as streets, causeways connected the island to the mainland, and chinampas, floating gardens, grew vast amounts of food. The Templo Mayor, their grand twin temple, stood at the city's center, towering above the lake. Here, rituals were performed daily to please the gods and maintain the balance of the universe. The Aztecs were not just warriors, they were engineers, artists, astronomers, and poets. Their culture was vibrant, but it all rested on constant conquest, and an empire built on fear. In 1519, everything changed. A strange group of armored men landed on the coast, the Spanish, led by Hernán Cortés. They were few in number, only about 500 men, but they brought horses, steel weapons, and guns. More importantly, they brought something invisible and deadly: smallpox. At first, the Aztecs weren't sure what to make of them. Some believed Cortés was a returning god, Quetzalcoatl, whose legend predicted his return from the east. The Emperor Moctezuma II chose caution. He allowed the Spaniards into Tenochtitlan, even offered them gifts of gold, hoping to control them. But Cortés had other plans. He took Moctezuma hostage, trying to rule through him. But tensions exploded when the Spanish massacred Aztec nobles during a religious ceremony. The people rebelled. The Spanish were forced to flee in a bloody escape known as La Noche Triste, the Night of Sorrows. But they would return, with thousands of native allies, including the fierce Tlaxcalans, longtime enemies of the Aztecs. While the Aztecs fought back with courage, a silent killer weakened them. Smallpox spread through Tenochtitlan like wildfire, killing thousands, especially the old, the young, and the experienced leaders. In 1521, Cortés launched a full-scale siege of the city. Cut off from food and clean water, the once mighty city starved. Bodies filled the canals. Disease, desperation, and constant bombardment broke the city's strength. After 93 days, the final Aztec emperor, Cuauhtémoc, surrendered. He was later tortured by the Spanish, demanding to know where the empire's gold was hidden. On August 13, 1521, Tenochtitlan fell. The Aztec Empire was no more. Though the empire collapsed, the story didn't end there. The Aztec people survived. Their language, Nahuatl, is still spoken today. Their mythology, their food, their symbols, like the eagle and the cactus, still live on in modern Mexico. The ruins of Tenochtitlan lie beneath Mexico City, but the empire's memory rises above them. The Aztecs ruled through fear, war, and sacrifice, but they also built one of the most extraordinary civilizations the world has ever seen. From outcasts to empire builders, they remind us how quickly power can rise, and how suddenly it can fall. If this story shocked you, or made you see the past in a new light, then hit subscribe. Because here on Sagas, where history are brought to light.